Here now to talk about these budget issues, we have Diana Furchtgott-Roth, former economic advisor to President George W. Bush and Ronald Reagan, senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute and a former member of Trump's transition team, and Steve Bell, Bipartisan Policy Center senior advisor and former Senate Budget Committee staff. Diana, everybody in the media is saying, well, this is Donald Trump's what they call the skinny budget. That's a phrase I hadn't heard. Apparently, when it's the president's first year, he comes out with a budget that nobody expects will pass. But won't this at least have an effect on what does pass? Won't this kind of move the momentum towards where the president wants to go in defunding some of what Washington is doing?
I think it will, yes. And I think that President Trump is fulfilling what he said he was going to do during his campaign. So I don't think anyone should be surprised. He said he was going to cut government waste. And I can assure you no one between the East Coast and California cares at all about this. They probably say they're tired of seeing their money go to Washington and Washington spend it. Plus, I think that it's not right that if a function is taken off the budget, like the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, right, then it won't exist. I mean, look, we have so many, hundreds of thousands even, of radio and TV stations. Why do we need one funded by the government? Well, and not to mention, Steve, the fact that you listen to PBS. I listen to NPR in the morning. I think they make CNN look like a pro-Trump organization. I mean, they are about as far to the left as anything can get, and that's my taxpayer money, and a lot of other people who may not agree with them have to pay for that. There's that as well, is there not? But even if it were far to the right, even if they were far to the right, there still isn't a reason for the government to be funding it. Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. What we wanted originally from the Public Broadcasting Corporation was a diversity of thought. Remember, we only had three channels back then, or three major networks back then, and it did bring, I think, a real diversity of thought. Whether it still should exist or not, I think the Congress will continue it. It still does things that some other institutions won't do. But what I think Mulvaney made very clear was this. Yes, we don't want to eliminate programs. We want to eliminate waste. And there is a fundamental difference between eliminating programs and eliminating waste. Right. I think the big, so far, and I want to be careful here because we only have a skinny budget. We don't have the economic forecast yet. We don't have what he may do in entitlements. So I think we should wait before we draw a final judgment. Right now, based upon what we know, I am disappointed that he did not take on the large entitlements which are driving the debt and the debt.
Well, that was a question that was mentioned. We'll see if that might happen eventually. But for now, right, Diana and Steve, we thank you very much for your analysis. Appreciate you coming on and hanging with us.